Hi, I'm Dr. Ryan Keim, a former emergency physician and now holistic nutritionist focusing on gut health because I think it's the master to optimal living. Conventional medical care, I don't think addresses prevention or root cause healing. And so that's when I started to look into my gut health. And when I changed my gut health, my life completely changed. And that's why I want to share it with you. Today is a fantastic episode. I think there's some foundational ideas here that I want to share with you that we all want to think about when following a holistic nutrition plan. And that is a leaky gut. A leaky gut, I think, is the source of almost all the disease. And we'll talk about what it is, why it happens, and my 5-step remedy to get you to reverse it. Thanks so much for following me along. Let's give you a quick tip before we get started. If you were to think about removing the inflammation of your leaky gut and reversing it, so what is the leaky gut? It is where the cells of the mucosal lining of the gut should be very tight and close next to each other. And they should be able to sort out what needs to be absorbed and what needs to be kept in the gut and or evacuated out. In response to different triggers, inflammation is caused from the immune system, which sees foreign invaders come through the leaky gut. The cells become leaky, there's space between them. You now have particles that come through that triggers inflammation. What's a small step you can do? Get rid of seed oils, canola oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, uh, all those oil, um, all those oils are terrible for you. They are very much processed, have a bunch of artificial ingredients, and immediately guarantee to cause you leaky gut. Avocado oil, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, those are safe. Those are effective for you. Avocado, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil. Okay, let's jump in. Now let's talk more about leaky gut. So, what is it? I just gave it to you, but think about it maybe like this. If you like to drink coffee, you understand coffee. The leaky gut is somewhat like a coffee filter. Your gut works well when things are tight, but if it's ripped or open, now those coffee grounds are going to seep through the filter and get into your coffee. And it's so important because 70%, approximately 70% of our immune system is set up and set to fire when ready behind the small intestine. You have lymph nodes. You have different types of your immune system that would then trigger inflammatory mediators. They have to coordinate a response. So if you get a leaky gut or they see something unwanted pass through, it triggers the whole response to then trigger downstream. And now these inflammatory mediators that are started in the small intestine will complete your blood and cross react with other areas of your body. Brain fog is caused by inflammation in the gut, and it's getting some cross reaction from the mediators that are causing inflammation in your brain. So it's so important. And in terms of a health benefit, right, it's not just inflammation, it's actually disease. You don't want any foreign pathogens. You don't want any fungus, viruses, bacteria, parasites up into your blood. And it's a fascinating system. You want to think of it like a long pipe with your intestine, right? Your small intestine is really where most of the nutrients are absorbed. Most, not all, most. And it's like 22 or 24 feet long to have a very large volume surface area. And so, really, to absorb all these nutrients, you put a lot of blood vessels right behind that lining. And so it absorbs through the intestinal wall and then right into the blood. I mean, why would it have to go much farther? That's what you want to absorb. As long as the gut wall is working properly. If you have a leaky gut, now you have no defense from what's being leaked through the intestinal wall into your bloodstream. And like there's a first pass effect where the majority of the blood will then go through the liver. That has some detoxifying, but it puts a huge stress on the liver if you have a leaky gut. If you have a faulty liver, then you're not going to be able to absorb and digest properly. You're not going to be able to detox hormones or get rid of the detoxification of things you eat. There's a two-step process, a phase one, phase two for the liver detoxification. The middle step creates a free radical. So you support antioxidants for the liver so it can convert the steps and not leave everything intermediary that creates free radicals. It creates a free radical, and then it adds urea to it, and then it becomes water soluble and is excreted. All right, moving forward, that was a lot, but that's important about the leaky gut. And if you're not careful what you put in, and that's why I say the quick tip is avoid those seed oils. So what happens when you have leaky gut? Sure, you can have infection. Sure, you can have brain fog. How about joint pain? How about like think about inflammation everywhere in your body? Skin breakouts are really common. I couldn't believe it. I wish I would have learned this in medical school. They had eczema. I knew all about the different creams we were going to give. But what about a change in your diet? So we can think about reducing inflammation in your gut and watch some of the skin eruptions are gone forever. I talked about the brain fog and irritability and sugar cravings. And then how about feeling tired after meals? Like I thought that was normal, but once you change and get your gut healthy, you realize that you really don't have to feel like you just ate a Thanksgiving dinner and have to sit down for 3 hours just to be able to digest. You feel like you'd be okay to walk around with a gentle walk for 10 minutes, which is what I like to do when I'm able after most meals. It's a wonderful way to stimulate digestion and keep your metabolism going. Here's a mini quiz for you to see if this will help. Ask yourself, is your gut leaking? Do I get bloated even with healthy meals? Do I crash hard in the mid afternoon? Do I crave sugar or caffeine just to function? Do I feel mentally foggy after I eat? And has my doctor said my labs look fine, but I still feel off? Yeah, I don't think there is going to be a specific test or even kind of a really good surrogate test to look at inflammation in your gut from just generic blood work. We're looking at like kidney tests, liver tests, electrolytes, blood counts. But is there a test? Yeah, you could look at C reactive protein, but that's just like a general marker of inflammation in your body. And I'm not sure that correlates very well with how leaky your gut is. So this is the problem. There are specific gut leaky antigens like inulin and stuff we can test for, but they're very specific. They're functional. And really, this is what I love. What's the treatment for a leaky gut? A better nutrition program. Reverse it. What so whether you have a leaky gut or not, it's better to just eat whole foods and have a gut-friendly diet. It's going to be the same treatment regardless, and it's going to help you maintain. So let's talk about the root causes of leaky gut. How about processed foods and seed oils, sugar, artificial sweeteners, gluten, and some conventional dairy, medications, particularly NSAIDs and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like Motrin, naproxen, ibuprofen, also acid blockers, Prilosec, Zantac. How about chronic stress? Absolutely. That's often overlooked and a big culprit, as well as lack of high quality sleep. And then overgrowth of harmful bacteria or yeast in your intestines. SIBO, small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. But that's okay. I think that with a healthy diet and a focus on avoiding these irritants, you can really heal your gut. And I'd like to suggest here's a 5-step plan that you might want to think about. Number one, it's the R plan. Remove the irritants, right? Sugar, alcohol, processed foods, seed oils, and gluten. Get them out of there. You want to heal that gut. They're causing nothing but inflammation. Number two, replace the healing foods and enzymes, right? Help your gut heal. Give it bone broth, zinc carnosine, L-glutamine, bitter greens, good healthy fats, avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, chia seeds, omega 3s with salmon. These are all great for your gut lining. Then repair it using zinc, L-glutamine, polyphenol rich herbs. How about rebalance your microbiome now that you've repaired the lining? Your prebiotics, these are the food that feeds the healthy organisms. Bananas, asparagus, garlic, leeks, onions. Then you have the probiotics, and these are the live organisms found in fermented foods that help colonize and maintain a normal, healthy, balanced microbiome. Kimchi, kefir, miso, sauerkraut, kombucha. These are all sources of great fermented foods. And then rethink your routines. So focus on mindful eating, address the stress, think about a sleep routine, think about uh, also balancing your meals. So we have remove the irritants, replace the healing foods with enzymes, repair the lining, rebalance the microbiome, and rethink your routine. See, here's a great story for you. I don't want to give names, got to keep it confidential, but one of my clients was a middle-aged woman I was working with that really was worried about this. And we talked about it, and it was the inflammation in her body. She had a lot of joint pain, bloating, brain fog, and it was very much related to deviations in her diet that were embracing some seed oils and some sugar. We removed the gluten, removed those, added healing foods, and within 3 weeks, she said she could think clearly again for the first time in years. She said, I didn't realize food could affect my brain that much. And see, this is also the insight that I had. When you start to correct your gut health, the rest of your health, it's like the roots, like the leaves, the rest of your body will not function if your gut is not healed, healthy, balanced microbiome. That's all I want to talk about. I love helping beginners get started, and thank you so much for following me along. If you want some more information, I do offer a free beginner's guide and getting started with holistic nutrition and gut health on my stand store. And if you really want some customized experience and maybe to help you break through and reach your goals, we can book a discovery call to talk about one of my coaching programs. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next live stream, which is going to be my daily gut routine at age 50 and how I got in the best shape of my life. Thanks again. Live inspired. Talk to you soon. Bye.